Hello, everyone, and welcome to the second episode of the She Trucking podcast with Miss Jerri. Hey, I am Miss Jerri, owner and founder of Life on the Road Recruiting. Hey, on this podcast, we're talking about the future of transportation. That's why you need to be here every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Central Time. So we discuss the latest developments in technology while promoting diversity and inclusion in transportation. We interview experts and thought leaders across our industry that discuss emerging technologies, sustainable solutions, and amazing opportunities in the world and future of transportation. Y'all, I am so excited about the guest that we have today. She is a fellow member on the Women of Trucking Advisory Board with myself and our founder and president, Sheree Moore of She Trucking. I want to introduce and welcome Kita Jones. Hello.
Hey.
Hello, Kita. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm well. Thank you so much for joining me this evening.
Yeah, and on a good day, happy International Women's Day to you.
Absolutely. Happy International Women's Day. Look,
Yes,
let me get that
ma'am.
ticker going across because this is an amazing day. We're celebrating women across the world, right? We're
Yes,
across the
ma'am.
globe. And so, what better day to bring you on the podcast than today, right? This is
Right.
going to
It's
be
perfect.
absolutely amazing. I'm so excited to have you.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. So I want to allow you to, tell us a little bit about yourself. And before you go into detail,
Mhm.
Kita, I don't know if you guys have been watching the promotions of this podcast, but Kita is a trailblazing pioneer in the future of transportation and in autonomous trucks. So I want you to just go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about you.
Yeah, so yeah, just call me Kita. So I have been trucking for 10 years, 15 years. I started out as a transit operator in Chicago. I'm from Chicago. And from the beginning, I started out predominantly in the intermodal freight with a mega carrier, and just recently, I just had this experience with the autonomous trucking, and I'm just excited to dive in and answer any questions you might have.
Awesome. Thank you. So I'm gonna dive deep into the autonomous trucking, but I want to start
All
with
right.
um, what year you started, you got your CDL, and kind of talk back about, you know, being a female in trucking and getting your Class 6
Ooh.
CDL.
Well, I got my CDL actually in 2008. So that was when I started out with the
Wow.
Class B. 2013 is when I started as a truck driver. And I went through the whole 9 yards. I went to truck driving school and went through that whole experience and ordeal. And it has been a ride. When I started out 10 years ago, I was one. I wouldn't say one of many, but where I was at the time, I was the only female student at the time. So, of course, there was a lot of challenges with that, right? Just because, there was just no one else like me there to relate to. So, I kind of just had to learn everything on my own,
Mhm.
and go through some of the difficult things with that experience, learning how to be a truck driver. So I did the
Yeah.
whole over the road thing and had the experience with that. And then once that was done, that's when I started my career with local truck driving and a moto freight.
Okay. Okay.
Mhm.
So you did the over the road thing, came
Mhm.
off the road, went local, intermodal. Talk about your challenges coming in into the industry as
Oh.
a female in
Mhm.
a male dominated industry.
Oh yeah, for sure. Well, that goes without saying. That's a challenge in itself, right? It was predominantly men, so
Hmm.
just being out there as a woman alone, it was just a little bit scary, intimidating because um, there weren't many, women out there. I would say the hardest part was, being over the road, being on the road, alone,
Hmm.
going to some of the truck stops and getting to the customer and things like that. It was
Yeah.
just it was a it was a challenge just all around, being brand new in the industry and just being out there, in the world and just
Hmm.
yeah. So
Yeah. I know you're a mentor to a lot of ladies that have gone
yes.
and got their Class A CDL. What like just pushed you to take that step to like kind of guide them from the beginning all the way to getting into the truck?
Yeah, so don't get me wrong. When I was out there learning, I did have some great mentors along the way,
Good.
um, that were there with me. Still to this day, we still talk and brainstorm about things, and so I just wanted to be that what those mentors were to me,
Hmm.
and even more so the fact that now we have lots of women in the industry now, and they still have those same fears. So
Yeah.
I'm able to get with them and share my experiences, just let them know, like, yeah, I went through that, and what's life without challenges, right? um
Exactly.
so I just, want to make sure that they have that, sound person that they can go to. My line is always open when they're going through, either, the test they're taking the next day or their first time on, on the road and things like that. And I just share my experiences and tips and, just help them get through that because it can be done for sure.
I love it. I love it. We see so many ladies in our She Trucking Facebook group. Every day, we're celebrating somebody and congratulating them on getting their Class A CDL. It's a
I
huge
love it.
accomplishment. It's a huge
Yes,
accomplishment.
it is. Yes.
And hard work pays off.
Mhm.
Let me just stop in and check out some of our comments. Hello, Dr. Tina. Thank you so much for stopping by. CTR Media Network, our network here. McQueen Yaya, hello. Thanks so much for tapping in, guys. Tell us where you're tapping in from. We'd love to hear that. So moving right along. So as you did the over the road, came
Mhm.
off the road, went into intermodal. um, let's talk about the autonomous truck and your
Okay.
experience as an autonomous truck driver. How did that role differ from being a traditional truck driver?
Oh, big time. First of all, like I said, during mostly intermodal, which is basically handling freight in and out of the rail yards. When I made the decision to go into autonomy, I just wanted to, to try something different and just do something new in the industry. And when I heard about it, I thought it was perfect because it was something new.
Hmm.
Um, it's definitely tech, it's tech based, so it's definitely something that's we're going to be seeing in the
Hmm.
future.
Hmm.
So
Absolutely.
um the difference was that it was nothing like starting out, as a regular truck driver. This is all, intense, rigorous training on, technical, basically like a driver assist
Hmm.
times 10, if you will.
Wow.
And so, yeah, it was a completely different world for me. So,
Hmm. Awesome, awesome. So we're gonna dig deeper. So if you're
Mhm.
here and you want to know more about the autonomous truck operator role, Kita, was in that role for quite some time. And so she's
Mhm.
going to talk about that with us. When we come back, we're going to deep dive into that autonomous operator role. We're going to learn a little bit more about it and find out exactly how Kita got involved and became an autonomous truck, semi truck operator. Stay tuned.
You are now listening to CTR Media Network.
What up, family? CTR Media Network. Yeah. Best in the biz. Yeah. Join the team. CTR is who we are, the media network, that's the best by far. Whether you listen at your home, at your job, in your car, come get the information that's needed above all, never lasting. Motivational podcasting, giving you the answers to the questions.
This is Alethea Tucker. I should say Dr. Alethea Tucker, and she is listening to the podcast on CTR Media Network.
That's me. I'm so happy to be here. Thanks to her, my podcast is doing great.
350 million, they tuning in. We in 50 different countries, we all can. And like minded, find your purpose and your assignment. Come get your fix, your feel, your mental alignment. Get active and speak to the masses. Build your influence, all levels and all classes. Now you know you can monetize and grow. CTR Media Network, start the show. CTR Media Network. CTR Media Network. CTR Media Network. CTR Media Network. CTR is who we are. The media network, that's the best by far, you know. CTR Media Network. CTR Media Network.
Yes. Thank you guys. Thank you so much. CTR Media Network. That's who we are. That's the network that we are on. We're super happy and proud to be a part of the CTR Media Network and our host, Dr. Tina. So we are with Kita Jones today. We're with Miss Kita Jones today, and she is a former autonomous operator, professional truck driver since 2008. So I'm super excited. I'm going to bring her back on. And hello, Kita. Thank you
Hey.
so much for being here again. I truly
Yes, ma'am.
appreciate it.
Yeah, I appreciate you.
So I want you to kind of just back up a little bit from
Okay.
the autonomous operator, and I want you to tell the audience how you got into that. How you became an autonomous operator in the first place? Like what? I never would have even thought of that, from a driver. Most drivers don't even think of that from a driver
Yeah.
perspective. So, like, how did you get into it? What lane did you participate?
Well, how I actually found out about it, someone just told me about it, right? So I did the research, and it was new to me too. I was like, "What in the world is this?" As I started reading about it, I had the same thought as most people. They get nervous, right? They're thinking like, oh, this is, the robots are going to take over, right? And so I wanted to dig. I wanted to know. So I went ahead and applied, and I got the job, and I was I got the job as an autonomous vehicle operator, which means that I would be side by side with a technical engineer
Mm-hmm.
that would we're behind the wheel of the autonomous truck,
Okay.
and we're just there to monitor, right? So it's in the research and development department where they are testing this machine, and we are given input in so many words. So as a professional driver, they wanted us to be able to help the programming of these self-driving trucks so that when they are ready to be on the road, of course, it would be designed by a professional driver, basically.
Got it. So they're taking the input of a professional driver and putting it into their research and development. So you were essentially on the research and development team.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So, I mean, because we can I have a whole podcast on just
Yes.
this, right? Um, that's in a nutshell what it was.
Okay.
So what it is. So in terms of if this is something that's gonna break out like next week, no.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's just like any other, software development program where, they're looking into this and researching it, and it is something that eventually is going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Do I think it's going to be soon? No. Do I think it's going to take the place of drivers? No.
Yeah.
No, I don't personally think that. No.
Yeah, yeah. No, thank you for clarifying that.
Oh,
Let me just go to some of our comments. Mr. Leonard, hey, Miss Jerry, congrats to you and driver. Much success to you. Thank you, Mr. Leonard, for stopping in. Yes, he says much success to you. Ashley, good evening. Good evening. Thank you so much for tapping in. We certainly appreciate you. So research and development,
mhm.
and you're in there with a technical engineer.
Yes.
And is it
So,
just like the screens in the front? Like kind of walk us through what that looks like being in the cab of that truck.
Um, you know what? Honestly, the truck design was your traditional Peterbilt's
Hmm,
international trucks.
okay.
So it's nothing how I thought when I came in. I thought it was going to be super
Mhm.
futuristic. It's more so just the space is taken. There's a server, there, of course, to run the truck, and
Right.
then you have the actual technician, who's the person with their laptop.
Hmm.
So, and on a day to day, we would run the route with the truck, and I would be behind the wheel, and um, it would just we would just go down the route as normal, and the truck would drive itself. And so I was there in the event that the computer is not doing what it's supposed to do, of course.
Gotcha.
And that's essentially what it was.
Got it. Got it. So
Mhm.
we have a question. How long have you been an owner operator? So Kita's not an owner operator. She was an autonomous semi truck operator. So
Mhm.
autonomous meaning the truck drive by itself. And so
Mhm.
she was in there and she's just kind of explaining, her role in the truck. Now, did you deliver loads? Was it like actual loads that you delivered, or it was just mostly research?
It was all research and development. So we did not have live freight in the back, if you will. It was just you know um, we had weight in the back
Wait.
to simulate freight, so
Mhm.
that they can get the full what do they call it, data
Yeah.
on how this self-driving truck could go down the road as if a human was in it. And to be honest, I was actually really impressed um, with the whole research and everything being live in the truck. um,
Mhm.
I did feel like, doing the research, that, it still has a long way to go. So if
Mhm.
that makes
Mhm.
anybody feel any better, they definitely have a long way to go with that. And mainly because I feel like there are many challenges out there. So
Mhm.
even just being a human driver, there's challenges out there with,
Of course.
drivers, bad drivers, or however, and just anything, like inclement weather and things like that.
Mhm.
And I do not feel like I said, this is something that's going to be, happening really soon,
Right.
because there's still so much research to be done. And yeah.
And that's definitely understandable that we know there's a lot of research. I'm so glad that you're here today because you put a face to autonomous. I don't know anyone else that has set in
Really?
or driven or operated, an autonomous truck. So for
Hmm.
so many of our viewers and our listeners out there, you put a face to autonomous trucks and that professional driver that's been in it and
Oh,
has
wow.
actually done it. So I'm so glad that you're here because you're gonna spark a lot of questions
Hmm.
and I definitely hope that you're going to be able to continue your career long term as an autonomous operator at some point. So let's talk
Yeah.
about the training.
Hmm.
How rigorous was the training to be an autonomous vehicle operator?
Oh, very much so. 4
Uh-huh.
long weeks.
Wow.
Okay,
Wow.
of so much information
Uh-huh.
that I thought my head was going to explode. And mainly what that training was more, it was more of the terminology to be able to communicate with the technician, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because you got the engineers that have their own language with what they do, and
Mm-hmm.
then we have our languages, truck drivers.
Right.
And it was mainly learning how to communicate and share our input with each other,
Mm-hmm.
being in, our professions are so different. So
Right.
um, everybody knows, like, as a truck driver, like, I know I've been driving 10 years by myself. I've never had to
Mm-hmm.
share a truck, be in a truck with anybody. Most of us don't even want to, like, slip seat. So this
Yeah.
was every time, every shift, you had to be able to communicate with that tech and get that research in the data. And that was the main thing. That was the main part of the training, to
Got it.
making sure you get the correct data in, so that they can perfect this,
Of
um,
course. Of
yeah.
course.
So
Ashley, hello, Ashley. Ashley says, how many miles do you drive? So, like, maybe how many miles do you drive, like, on an average day of going along the route?
average about 600, maybe four to
Wow.
600. Yeah, this was not over the road. This was local, home daily in my bed. So it wasn't what people think. It was a regular, day of work. To say, going from, Dallas to Houston every day,
Okay.
you know,
Okay.
and just doing that over and over again, inputting that data every single day, and that was the job.
Got it. And so, how were, like, the four wheelers? Did you have to, like, engage, disengage, and the four wheelers jump in front of you and all of those things?
Of course, and I live in Dallas, so so yeah, a lot of challenges when I first started. My biggest challenge when I first got into this thing, the first thing I did was disengage. Like,
Mm,
I took it out of the autonomy. I'm like, no way. And
mm,
so I had to get comfortable with letting the technology do what it needed to do. And like I
yeah.
said, I was actually very impressed.
Wow.
Uh, Most of the maneuvers that we think of when you are defensive driving,
Hmm.
the autonomous truck can handle.
Mm.
But it is a software.
Work
So
in progress. Hmm.
yeah, so those things that us humans have, like, peripheral vision, or just the reaction by itself, the technology is not 100% there.
Of
So
course.
that's what we were there for. So I did uh, disengage that thing a lot,
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
because it could have either been my nerves, or, but that's what we were there for.
Exactly.
Anytime we wasn't sure, you had to make sure you were safe first. So.
Got it. Got it. So you talked about the training being a 4-week rigorous training.
Mhm.
Were you, I'm going to go back into that female in a male dominated industry. Were you the only female in the class? Was it male dominated on the autonomous side as well?
Yes, ma'am.
Mm,
This is yes, ma'am, and this has been, 10 years. I'm pretty
yeah.
much used to it. I actually didn't even realize it until we were leaving Arizona. I was like, wait a minute, like, I'm the only one here. So,
Yeah.
yes, yes, and we've come a long way. Like,
Of
even from
course.
10 years ago, when I was the only, female, it has gotten a lot better as far
Hmm.
as, the inclusiveness, and, you know, um, in the industry and stuff with women. So yeah,
Yes.
I'm proud of how far we come. But yes, I was at the time. I was the only female driver there.
I love it. I love it. Hey, look, girl power. Okay. Girl
Right.
power. All day long. All day long. We do what
For
we have to do.
sure. Yes,
So
we
we're going
do.
to take, I'm sorry, we're going to take a quick commercial break, right? And when we come back, Kita is going to tell us some of the differences and how it being an autonomous operator versus being that, truck driver in a traditional sense. She's going to talk about, some of the differences and some of the things that you need to, be prepared to do. And we're also going to talk about some of the things that if autonomous truck operator is something that you want to do in the future, a career or a path that you want to take in the future, like what are some of the things that you need to be thinking about now? Like right now, what are some of the things that you need to be thinking about to be able to transition into that autonomous role? So we'll be right back here in just a second. You're strong.
When they say what the church look like, it look like us.
Yeah. DJ Tony. For all my ladies out there trucking towards they goals. Let's go. She gon' take care of her biz, she trucking, she trucking. She a woman with a rig, she trucking, she trucking. She gon' take care of her kids, she trucking, yeah. She a boss, she do it big, she trucking, she trucking, she trucking, she trucking, she trucking, she trucking. She a boss, she do it big, she trucking, she trucking. She a woman with a rig, she trucking, she trucking, she trucking, she trucking, she trucking, she trucking. Often hated, never duplicated. We underestimated cause it's male dominated, but we getting payment like it's money motivated. Our clientele rated while they dragging, we gon' slay it. By the hour, we them girls and we got power. Haters everywhere like no taxes, they be sour. Dropping lows on the road and we be running. You can never do it like us and that's a bummer. They got my back so I got my girls with me. I can't be like you cause the shoes just won't fit me. All these moves and we make it all happen. We just show and prove while the rest of y'all rapping. Clocking in and making ends for.
All right. So we are back. I've got Kita Jones here. Kita Jones, a professional truck driver since 2008. She has experience as an autonomous truck driver, autonomous semi-truck driver. That means she was on the team in which the truck drove itself. Okay, if you're not familiar with autonomy and autonomous truck operations, level 4, those are the trucks that drive by themselves. Kita was on the research and development team. And so a lot of experience and a lot of knowledge. And again, she's here because this podcast talks about the future of transportation. And the goal is to ensure that we're constantly evolving and we're continuously opening our minds to new possibilities, new technologies, and all of the things. And so, Kita, I'm so glad that you're here today. Yeah. I want you to kind of talk about the differentiators and like what are the big key differentiators that, you're doing as an autonomous truck driver versus a, professional truck driver.
It's like you said, a lot of it is just being open-minded. Along with, I will say this, I feel like, the experience plays a big part as well, simply because you have to, that defensive driving, those skills have to just be there, right? So, being open-minded to it and just, to the technology and what the actual goal is, I think is the biggest thing. So if you're a person that's, interested in the technical aspect of where we're going with this, then it's definitely something worth trying. I feel like even with, I'm not a owner operator, but, even owner operators or business owners, don't shy away from it. This is going to be something that is definitely going to be a part of the future. So I would start doing the research now. Maybe you have a fleet of trucks and you want to, test one out and put one on just to see. But these are some of the things that I feel like would be very beneficial, moving forward if we want to stay in the game, with this industry. Yep, I can't hear you, Jerri.
Thank you. Sorry about that. No, I was saying absolutely. Like you make a really great point in the research and learning, continuous learning, and being knowledgeable about the industry that you're in. That's important. What are some of the the key characteristics and like qualities that a person needs to have in order to like be successful as an autonomous truck operator?
The number one thing is knowing that, I know we talk a lot about just being a truck driver, like the safety thing. Like we always talking safety, safety,
Yes.
safety first.
Yes.
But this is on another level. Like
Wow.
this is not just saying, oh, be safe out there. No, this is what it is. We have to know that this technology is going to go off of the habits and stuff of, you know, us like human
Mhm.
drivers. So that is the number one thing, is that just know that safety is that you're gonna that's the most that you're gonna be uh I don't know how to say it, but yeah, it's
Safety.
the safety thing first. Yeah.
Definitely the safety. So it's safety on an entire new level than what we're accustomed
Right.
to.
As a driver, we have the tendency to become complacent.
Yeah.
We've been doing this for years, or I know what I'm doing, this and that. um I've seen that in training where, the first time I got in there, it was like my very first day.
Mhm.
It was nothing like when I got the training when I was becoming a truck driver. It was
Mhm.
just a different, um, it was just a different perspective, like getting in that seat and just allowing that technology to drive itself. So it's like, you just have to, be open minded to it and just know exactly what you're doing when it comes to, putting in that data and
Mhm.
knowing what you want that truck to do. So,
Exactly.
yeah.
Exactly. What are some of the benefits, some of the potential benefits that are out there from an autonomous truck perspective?
I think the benefits of it is that we talk about, everybody's talk about the deficit out there. We're still down 80,000 truck drivers, right? I think the benefit of it is that it would be a addition. Like I don't think that it will replace, but I think it'll be help out there. I don't know if we can get 80,000 drivers, but I think the research is saying that in like the next 5 years it's going to be even more. So we're going to be down 160,000
Mhm.
drivers, so double that.
Mhm.
And I think the benefit of it is, learning about it now, being open minded to it, knowing that this is a part of the ever changing trucking world, folks.
Yes.
This is not something, don't get discouraged. This is something that is going to happen, and
Mhm.
we need to get on board, learn about it, and do what we do, you know?
Exactly.
hmm
Exactly. It's not a matter of if, it's just when.
When.
It is just
Exactly.
when, yeah. As a recruiter, we're a truck driver recruitment company at Life on the
Yes.
Road, and a lot of our companies use the Intel app. It's the app that's
hmm
known, and there's other application systems and things like that.
hmm
But we sometimes have drivers that have a hard time just signing the releases.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know, and so
Yes.
tell me about like how you got to be able to know a little bit about technology from an autonomous operator perspective.
Oh, it's a must.
Yeah.
Okay, so like, knowledge is power.
Yes.
Just do it. This is the way. I remember it wasn't that long ago. I had a hard time with when they when the company I was working for, they went from manuals to automatics. I
Mm-hmm.
was one of those people. I was
Mm-hmm.
like, I am absolutely not driving an automatic. And I can't believe it because now I absolutely will not drive a stick. I love my so it's one of those things where you're not going to appreciate it until you accept it.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
because it's not going back. Okay. So yeah, I think that it's time to go ahead and embrace it. Do what you need to do, move forward, or get left behind because it's
Yeah.
definitely happening. So
Yes.
mhm.
Yes. Embrace change. Embrace, that is a
Embrace
huge thing.
change.
Yes,
Embrace
embrace the
change.
change.
I forget who
Because
said it. Yeah, go ahead.
no, I was just gonna say it's our industry is ever changing. It is
I
ever
mean, every
changing.
day. Have
Yeah.
you ever had a day where it's the same? Not ever. I
Mm-mm.
don't think that in the 10 years I've been driving, I feel like I learned something at least every day. I'm
Yeah.
going to go ahead and go on a limb and say every day.
Every day.
Seriously,
Yep.
yes, every
Yeah.
day. And
Yeah.
that's what I love about it too. It's one of the reasons why I didn't I didn't say when I was a kid I wanted to grow up and be a truck driver. It was one of those
Yeah.
things where I did what I had to do. Being a single mom, just working jobs, and then I found out that when I got in trucking, that it wasn't just a job for me. Like I actually love it. I'm good at it. You
Mm-hmm.
know, I like the freedom of it. I
Mm-hmm.
like that it changes. I'm not just sitting, punching the clock every day or whatever. Um, I like that it's fulfilling. I can see the production of my work when I go deliver a
Mm-hmm.
load, or if I'm in research and development. I feel like it's
Mm-hmm.
making a difference, and I think that's the main thing.
Yeah, I love
Yeah.
that. I love that.
Mhm.
So, I mean, you mentioned that you're a single mom.
Yes,
Let's
ma'am.
talk about that. I want to tell us how many kids you have.
I
Um,
have two.
two,
Yes.
boy and girl, or boys.
Yep. My son, he's 7, and my daughter is 19.
Wow,
Which is
huge gap.
yep.
I
Yep.
love it. I love it. And so they've been taken care of from a truck driver salary, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
ma'am.
yeah. That's
Yes,
huge.
ma'am. It
How?
is.
Hmm. Go
It
ahead.
is. It it works, right? Like, so I wouldn't, it's not a mistake that I've been
Hmm.
doing this for 10 years. And
Hmm.
when I started out driving, period, my daughter was 5.
Hmm.
And so,
Hmm.
um, I've been able to sustain,
Hmm.
with being a truck driver. I get a lot of questions about that. People like, oh, how much it is. I heard this, I heard that, and oh, I don't want to be out on the road. And well, you got to do the work first. I'm not saying that you have to go on the road, but of course there were challenges.
Yeah.
No, it's not easy.
Hmm.
Not that it's hard in a way that's discouraging, but it's not just it's not just handed to you. It's just going to be easy peasy lemon squeezy, right? But overall, like I said, it has been fulfilling for me and my family. So,
Hmm.
um, at the point now in my career, I'm able to kind of do whatever I want to do in the industry just because of that experience. And I have figured out that I'm happy where I am. I
Yeah.
like being a company driver, local, home every day with my kids, and that's
Hmm.
what it's been. And
Yeah.
yes, it's the salary is decent. It's the same.
Yeah. Was the salary comparable when you moved from the traditional truck driver role to the autonomous vehicle operator role? Was it comparable? Was it better? You don't have to give any numbers, but just
It
kind
was
of give us.
comparable. It was comparable. It was I accepted it, put it that way.
Yeah,
I definitely
exactly.
accepted the offer. But the same with being a traditional truck driver, because I definitely feel like you get back what you put in it also.
That's right. That's right.
So, um we know in the trucking world, like the scale is very, versatile with the, salaries and things like that.
Hmm.
But there's definitely a happy medium between both. So
Yes, I love it. I love it. I love it. That's awesome.
yes, ma'am.
So, from a sustainability and reducing emissions,
Hmm.
the vehicle that you operated as an autonomous operator, how how was that from emissions and green earth and keeping um, the earth clean?
You mean like with like fuel and the fuel emissions?
Efficiency, yeah, efficiency, less pollution, things like that. Was that along those lines, or was it diesel operated? Was it electric?
It was emissions.
Mm,
The equipment that we use were traditional, like, trucks.
okay,
The only thing that was different was the equipment on the inside for the
gotcha.
software.
Got
Yeah.
it. Got it. Okay. Okay. So just an overall like recap, how do you
Mhm.
see um us evolving? How do you see trucking evolving over the next 5, 10 years um in the future?
I think that this avenue of trucking is going to open a lot of doors, a lot of
Mhm.
jobs within the transportation supply management industry. One of them
Mhm.
being the research and development, the engineering. I see a lot of that in the future. Not necessarily something that, in my opinion, that you're going to have to, like, oh, I got to go get a degree for this. No, I think this is going to be something that's going to be a part of on the job training, because it's going
Okay.
to be needed. um, I see a lot more of us in the industry. Our children, my daughter is 19, and I already envision that, one day I'm going to be passing down, a business to her. And so I think that we're going in a really great direction with this, if
Yes.
we all just realize that, this is what's happening. Okay.
Mhm.
um, if you have a business, in your business plan, you have to be open to, the changes.
Yeah.
So, it may be time to revise that business plan,
Yeah.
whatever you got to do. But yeah, I think that the future in this industry is going to be really, really great.
Mhm.
Contrary to everything that's happened, it's never going to go away. There's
Mhm.
always going to be the
Mhm.
mode of, supplying
Mhm.
stuff through plane, train,
Mhm. Mhm.
and trucks.
Mhm.
So uh, yeah, I think it's going to be good.
I like that,
Well,
and I you're very optimistic on and there's a misconception out there that
it
people are going to
is.
go away, but you're very optimistic, having sat in an autonomous vehicle for
Hmm.
quite some time. You're very optimistic that the people won't go away, the drivers won't go
Well,
away, but their roles will evolve. Is that what I'm
yep.
hearing?
Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. So there may be some, like, in the way I saw it was that, okay, I'm not going to be sitting in the truck, but they're definitely going to need, a professional driver that's going to have to be there to oversee that truck.
Mhm.
you know Even whether it's behind a computer or whether it's out of, I'm not
Mhm.
sure yet, but they're
Mhm.
going to still need your expertise, our
Mhm.
expertise,
Mhm.
when this takes place. So that's something that, the engineer or the software developer, they cannot do. They
Mhm.
can only put the information in. They always going to need the professional driver to, perfect, even with the, like the pre-trips and the inspections and things like
Right.
that.
Right.
So you're absolutely right. It's not that people are going to go away. The roles are just going to change. And
Yes.
be
Yes.
ready for it.
Exactly. Be ready. Be ready.
Yeah.
That's a really good point. And we have a couple of comments here. Let me just
Sure.
recognize our comments. Hello, Miss Felicia. She says, since the webinar, I've told SAP drivers about autonomous driving. So I recently did a webinar and talked to drivers that needed a second chance and about
Mm.
autonomous driving, because I'm all
Oh,
about the
nice.
future of trucking and learning and keeping your ears and eyes open. And so that's
Always.
really good. Thank you so much, Felicia. Austin says, hello, is Kita aware of the trucking group Embark?
I'm not.
I've heard of Embark. They are they're an autonomous operator.
Okay.
There's quite a few out there, but
It
believe it
is.
or not, there are quite a few autonomous
I'm
operators.
learning.
Yes, yes,
There
yes.
are
So
quite a
Embark
few.
is one. So you guys do your research. Do your research on some of these companies. There's Embark, there's Gatic, there's Aurora. Aurora is another one. There's a lot of companies. And so rather than, put your head in the sand and just say it's going to go away and it's not coming, be keep doing your research. Be on the offense, so you don't have to be on the defense. Just
Yep.
make sure you're constantly learning and seeing what's out there. No, this has been a really good time, Kita. I'm so happy that you
For
came
sure.
on. This has
Yeah.
been amazing.
Thank
um,
you.
I just want to, I want you to kind of close with what can we do? What can we do um, in order to stay ahead? In order to stay, like a few steps ahead of what's coming. What can be done?
um, just keep it. Just keep an open mind. Just remember that, especially for women in trucking, we are just like the torch holders, as for lack of better words. Okay, we got to think about the Lois Coopers and the Luella Bates of this, right? These were women that were in the 1800s and late early 1900s that have done this already. They paved the way for us. So, don't get discouraged. Just keep doing it. Do it scared, because if this is something that you're thinking about doing, it's definitely possible. We're all living proof of that. We're here to support you. I'm here to support you, and just keep on going. Keep on trucking.
Yes, look, I'm back there doing this. Yes, keep on trucking. I love it. I love it. No,
Yes, ma'am.
be that pioneer, be that
Yes.
trailblazer. Like I said, it's so good to put a face with
Mhm.
the term that we keep, the buzzword that we keep hearing, autonomous operator,
Mhm.
autonomous vehicle operator. We see it. I've seen some schools start to offer the course and things like that.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I'm so happy that you're here. I'm so
Yeah.
happy that you're here because you are that trailblazer. You are that pioneer,
Oh,
and I'm grateful to have you on our show tonight.
thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for having me, Jerry.
Thank you so much. It's been amazing to have Kita. You have to come back on later
I
on. You
will.
got to come back
For
and
sure.
impart some words of wisdom and just kind of share your knowledge. I can't wait to hear the future successes that you'll have in the industry.
Yeah, same with you. I love what you're doing, Jerry. So it's great.
Thank you. Thank
All right.
you.
You guys stay encouraged. That's
Absolutely. Absolutely. So it has been an amazing podcast with Miss Kita. We've got a couple of comments. Great podcast. Oh, let me bring Kita back on in here. Kita, don't leave yet. Don't
okay.
leave
I'm
yet.
here.
We've got a question for you.
Uh-oh.
Will there be any legislation that will mandate major carriers to require drivers to apply autonomous driving in the future? I don't have an answer to that.
I
Um,
don't, but I did know. I mean, I do notice that a lot of the major mega carriers, they are, you know, looking into it. I guess you could say, um, doing their research as well. So again, this is something that is moving forward. I don't know if it would be mandated, but I have seen a couple of mega carriers diving, dipping into the autonomous world, trying it out or whatever.
mhm,
So
mhm.
yeah.
And this is a good question for you, Kita. The FMCSA has requested like public comment on a few questions they put out there about autonomous driving, and one of them was, will do should they require the autonomous operator to get a CDL, or the individual that's in the truck to actually have a CDL? That's one of the questions that they're putting out there.
Well,
And
they
I think,
have to. I don't. I don't.
mhm,
I don't believe there's any autonomous operators like
without one.
you have to have. No, you have to have a CDL to be behind the wheel of that vehicle.
Okay.
I don't know if they're speaking of like the
Driver
tech.
assist or something like that, maybe the tech
No, right. Yeah, they don't play a role in the actual um
engagement.
Yeah, and engaging in things like that. It is a professional driver that's behind the wheel.
Got it. Got it.
Mhm.
That's good to
But I
know.
do believe, but thinking about that, like I was saying earlier, that's one of the roles that I feel like when there are self-driving trucks and there's what they call like driver out, like no human, I
Mm-hmm.
still believe that it will be required to have a professional driver because they will be the ones to know, right, how
Right.
that vehicle is operating. So, yeah. But
Right.
I'm not sure
Right.
about the mandating yet. I'm gonna find out though.
I'll send it to you when we get off. But
Yeah.
let's see. One more question from Austin. Hello, Austin. So good to have you on here. Would Kita happen to know the total cost to install autonomous equipment on a commercial vehicle?
I do not know that, but I do know that there are companies that are open to owner operators coming on. So that's something that if you have your own business, do your research and try it out. Take a
Yeah.
chance and figure it out. So yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
I
That's a good
wouldn't know the
point.
cost. So that's a good question though.
That is a really good question. So basically what you're saying is like if they have their own truck, they're an owner operator,
Mhm.
companies will bring them on and maybe like, install that equipment, let them run with them and test it out and things like that.
I think so. I mean, I
Mhm.
think so. I think eventually, just like the traditional way where you bring your truck on and they install their system, the
Systems.
ELD and
Mhm.
things like that. I'm not uh,
Yeah, yeah, no, that's good.
knowledgeable on the operator world, but I know the basics that the company takes care of most of the things. So it's definitely something worth
Looking
finding out
into.
about.
Most definitely, most definitely.
That's
Awesome. Thank you
exciting.
so much, Austin. Good, really good questions for Kita. Thank you. We've got a great podcast. Thanks so much for tuning in, D Banks ETC. We appreciate it. Awesome, awesome. Well, again, this has been so profound, so phenomenal just to have you on here and just to open up this conversation and have this dialogue.
Yeah.
Like I said, there's so many people just, with their heads buried and just not even thinking about that. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when.
When
So we have to be ready.
Let's get ready, people.
Let's
Let's
get
get
ready.
ready.
Let's get ready. And
Let's
hey,
do it.
what does autonomous trucking look like? Like Sheree says in her video, what does autonomous trucking look like? It looks like us. Okay.
Us.
It looks like us. I love it. I love it.
Yes,
Hey girl,
ma'am.
thank you again. It has been a true pleasure. I really appreciate you, and you will definitely be back. Okay.
All right. Thank you, Jerry. Bye.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. All right, guys, this has been a great episode. Look, this is episode 2, and we are bringing the knowledge in the future of transportation. Last week, we had Joel Morrow with Purple Haze. If you haven't checked out that episode, make sure you go back and check out that episode. This week, we have the amazing Kita Jones. Kita was an autonomous truck operator. She, sat there and, was on the research and development team for autonomous trucks. Level 4 autonomous trucks. Level 4 means nobody's driving. The truck is driving by itself. It ran from Houston to Dallas. Back and forth. She said she averaged about 600 miles a day, was home every day, local, and slept in her bed. Great episode. If you didn't get the chance to check the entire episode out, make sure you go back and watch the replay. Put hashtag replay. I cannot wait to get your comments and your feedback on this episode. Look, this has been an amazing episode. I'm super excited. I'm so glad that you guys were here. I will see you guys again next week, next Wednesday at 7 p.m. Hey, I am Miss Jerri with Life on the Road Recruiting. Can't wait to see you guys again next week.
Strong.
truck look like? It look like us. All right.
Yeah.
Podcasting is trending. Celebrities and everyday people every single day are starting podcasts. You may be even thinking about starting a podcast yourself. But the question still remains the same. How can you start, launch, brand, market, and grow your podcast? How can you connect with the right people in the media and the podcasting industry in order to elevate your visibility? And what type of mindset do you really need to have in order to be a successful podcaster? And the big question, how can you monetize your podcast? Well, hello, everybody. I am Dr. Tina J. Ramsey, host of the Tina Ramsey Show, podcast coach and podcast network owner. And the good thing is that I have you covered. You can ask all of these burning questions and so much more to our experienced media and podcasting professionals on our live Q&A at the Power of Podcasting event that I am personally inviting you to on May the 6th from 2 to 7 p.m. in Atlanta, Georgia at the Pop-Up and Create. I want you to experience for yourself a live taping of the Tina Ramsey Show, and your ticket, get this, includes our #1 podcast course, an autographed copy of the Power of Podcasting book, a swag bag with exclusive goodies, delicious food, and networking. So whether you are looking to just simply expand your knowledge, connect with like-minded individuals, or simply have a good time, our event has something for everyone. So I don't want you to miss out on this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. So I want you to buy your ticket and secure your spot for our event, because it is the event of the year, because these tickets will sell out fast. So go to ctrmedianetwork.com and purchase your ticket today. I can't wait to see you there at the Power of Podcasting. Get your ticket today at ctrmedianetwork.com.
Our CTR Media Network sponsors.
A special shout out to our corporate sponsor, Sheree Moore of SheTrucking.com. SheTrucking.com is committed to helping women and minorities establish and maintain successful careers in the transportation industry. So if you want to know how you can become the next trucker or join the transportation industry, contact SheTrucking.com and join their free Facebook community.
Strong.